Hey YouTubers, Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. Today we're working on a Toyota Camry and we are going to replace the entire shift cable that runs from your actual shifter inside the car all the way to the actual transmission. Let's get started. First thing, hop inside your vehicle and verify that your actual shifter is in the park position. Put the key in and verify that your park is illuminated. That will tell you that it is in park. Next, out to the engine, disconnect the negative terminal to your battery, cut all electrical power to the vehicle. Down below is your shifter, and a common brake in the Toyotas is braking right there. As you can see, completely broke away from the part that's connected to the actual shifter lever on your transmission. So what we need to do is remove this nut right here, as well as this securing plate here, and remove this shift cable from the transmission side of the actual shift cable. This is a 13 millimeter. Part is removed. I put the 13 millimeter nut back on and we'll set that aside for now. The next part is this little securing plate here. In the event that you cannot pull it out, you will have to remove this plate. Behind here, two 12 millimeter bolts. Go ahead and remove those. You'll be able to pull this plate out, give you better access to removing this. Two bolts are removed, and from here, I pulled the actual shift cable up. There's that securing clip we have to remove. It's been on there quite a long time. I've got a towel in place to catch any overspray or drips, and I'm just going to spray it, and I'm going to let this sit for about 20 minutes. I let this sit for about 20 minutes, and all I'm using is a chisel and a hammer, and I'm tapping this little clip out. This has been on here for a very long time, so it is difficult to come off. There it is. From here you can disconnect this from the actual plate inside the vehicle now, and basically we are going to start from the back and move our way toward the shifter. Clean out your center console area, and just by moving this little felt portion, you can go ahead and remove that. It's not actually glued down or taped down. Two 12 millimeter bolts, let's go ahead and remove those. Both 12 millimeter bolts are removed. I'm going to leave those bolts inside. Use my ratchet extension with the 12 socket. Moving up front, I grabbed a very thin, fine, flat screwdriver, insert it in here, and began working it around and popping up this plastic piece here. Be careful because you don't want to actually peel this away from the plastic part. On the bottom side are these little teeth or prongs that sit inside those little holes there. And once you get this disconnected, on the back side is a connection point. Let's remove that. All you got to do to remove this is pull it back and off. Next, remove these Phillips screws. One here and one on the opposite side. After removing those two screws, check this out. This whole piece can come up and off. I've got the e-brake up, and I'm just going to shift this up and off. That whole center part is removed. From here, I'm going to use that same flathead screwdriver and carefully get in these little areas here and pull this part off. On the back side, you've got a few connection points. We will need to remove those. When removing this top part, twist it and then pull it out. Be careful because there is a light on the insert there. From here, this bottom one just comes back and off. After removing that, on the upper side, twist it and pull it out. It is an additional light. From here, this whole part, carefully pull it out. And I'll set that aside. After removing that part, very important, you've got a Phillips screw here and here. Leave those alone. Come right to this Phillips screw here that secures this actual panel, and go and remove this screw as well as that screw. Left screw and right screw removed. Since we're on the driver's side, let's hop over here, and we're going to pop this little piece out here, and you can carefully shift this to the side. Phillips screw, go ahead and remove that, as well as a Phillips screw right there. Making progress. Phillips screw removed. From here, again, I shifted this over, pop this little bottom part out, and from here, again, you've got these teeth. Be very careful as you pull this away from the actual dashboard. A teeth here, or a prong, and just continue making your way around here to remove this whole part. Lower panel is removed, and on the back side you actually have the hood opener latch. I'm actually going to keep that connected and just work around it. From here, we're gonna hop to the passenger side and remove the glove box. On the passenger side, go ahead and open your glove box. You have 3 Phillips screws, one here, one in the center, and on the far left. And I would remove this lower Phillips screw first. I've already removed that. Making progress, all screws removed. Just like the opposite side, go ahead and pop this little paneling off. Set that aside, and same thing. Down in this lower corner here, you have an additional Phillips screw. Go ahead and remove that. After removing that Phillips screw, again, I shifted this aside, that aside, and from here, just pull the glove box off, and just like the opposite side, you have all these prongs or teeth that secure themselves to the dash. Careful as you remove this. You don't want to break those. Once you remove this, there's an electrical connection point on the back side. Go ahead and remove that by pinching in the actual side portions and shifting off. At this point, the glove box is removed, and the connection point actually secures itself right here. And this is how you remove it. Pinch in on each side and just shift it out of this actual connection point. Be very careful, you don't want to break it. From here, I'll remove this entire glove box and the lower panel that's still connected. After getting that glove box out of the way, same thing, you've got those internal teeth or prongs that connect themselves into the plastic securing inserts. Go ahead and carefully pull this off. Don't crack any of this plastic. From here, I'll need both hands. I'm going to remove this whole piece. Just be careful as you remove that. If you're curious, I'm actually putting all the pieces that I'm removing in the actual trunk. Try to stay organized, right? One last thing, if you have any of these clips that pop off, those go on the actual clips of the glove box. Back inside the vehicle, an additional thing I'm doing to stay organized, these screws that come out of the holes, I'm reinserting them in the actual screw holes to stay organized, because I want the same screws going in the same holes. As well as down there, I've re-secured that. From here, guess what, YouTubers, we're going deep. We have to pull this carpet back. It's held on by Velcro, and the shift cable goes all the way underneath there and makes its way down to there. We have to remove those screws. You got one here and you got one further up. If you can get a 10mm ratchet and socket on it, awesome. Go ahead and remove it. You've got, again, one on this side. We may need to hop to the driver's side to get the other bolt. If you can't get a ratchet on it, definitely get the ratchet wrenches. That's what they look like. Again, you've got 2. Now we got to go to the opposite side. On the driver's side now, and carefully remove the actual carpet. From here, you've got this plastic panel here. All it is clips here that clip into the actual holes. Go ahead and shift that out, and I'll pull that out as well. And by shifting the actual carpet back, we are going to find that other bolt. Once you get that carpet pulled back, it's way back there. I'm using that ratchet wrench. Going to be tedious and might take a few minutes, but go ahead and remove that additional bolt. I've got it loose, I've got my hand in there, and I got the bolt out. I'll be honest, YouTubers, this one's kind of a pain. But once you get it out, it's out. Let's hop back to the actual passenger side. Back on the passenger side, now I grab the pliers and this little clip down here that secures the cable. Go ahead and pull that off. I went ahead and loosened it, so yours may be a little more trickier to pull off. Set that aside, and down below is your actual shift cable connection, where it connects itself to the shift lever. Very greasy, so just be careful. You can just pull this off, just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this tip in towel and not allow any of that grease to get all over the place. Next thing you're going to do is, I've got the shift cable. All you're going to do is shift it through that hole and out. Just like that. Back down below, I'm going to carefully shift this metal plate off the rubber gasket, and that's what it looks like. So you've got a metal plate and rubber gasket on the internal portion of your firewall. And you also have this same thing on the opposite side of the firewall. Let's go check that one out. Back out at the engine, what you'll do is follow your shift cable. It goes all the way back here over your starter, connects right here, and goes all the way down below. It's very difficult to get to from above. It's way down there. And what we need to do is go below. What I did for convenience, remove the front driver's side tire. Got the jack for backup, and the car is resting on the actual jack stand. What we'll do is we'll go down below and I'll show you exactly where that plate is. All right, your exhaust pipe, as you can see, mine's pretty rusty, and it comes out of the catalytic converter and goes inward, basically just above that connection point. You will see the external plate. And what you want to do, you'll notice two 10mm bolts, and what we need to do is remove both of those. You can also see the actual shift cable coming out of the cabin. And you may find it very difficult to get a ratchet and socket on those bolts. I'm using a 10mm ratchet style wrench, which is very awesome. Go ahead and remove both these bolts. Making progress, the plate is removed, and just a quick recap, I loosened both bolts from underneath the car. The lower bolt I removed completely from underneath the car. The upper bolt I hopped back up and reached my hand down from above the engine and hand twisted this bolt out. Once you get it out, this little plate here comes off, and this little insert here goes into the actual firewall. You have to pull it out. And then this slit or cut is already pre-cut from the manufacturer to allow you to conveniently pull it up and off the actual shift cable. Back up top, and from here just map out your actual shift cable. It goes above the actual starter. Disconnect it from this connection point here, and it feeds down below. And as you can see it moving down below. And what we want to do is hop inside the vehicle and pull the shift cable out from inside the vehicle. Making progress, what I'm doing is just carefully pulling the shift cable out, and you'll get to a point where it gets stuck on something inside the engine. Just hop back out to the engine and help assist the opposite side of the shift cable through, and just continue pulling it out from the actual insert here. There we go. The entire shift cable is out. Now this rubber piece here does not have a factory cut or slit in it. So we're going to check the new shift cable and see if we have a new gasket. If not, we have to cut this off and insert it on the new cable. And as far as comparison in length, I've got it up against the actual truck, so it's a very short cable if you really look at it. New cable's in the bag. Let's go ahead and open that. Brand new shift cable is out, and definitely check the comparison in lengthwise as well as the actual parts. Comes with all new parts. Check that out. We don't have to take off the old cotter pin, and also comes with this new pad here that sits on the starter, and there's where it broke right there. Here's the new part, and it broke right there. So this whole portion broke off as we were shifting. So now we are going to reverse the steps and put on this shift cable. And in the event that you want step-by-step guidance on that, definitely check out the video below in the comment section. That is our part 2. We are going to install the brand new shift cable and take it for a test drive. That's it, YouTubers. Hope the video helped. As you can see, I wouldn't call this the most friendly DIY project. However, hopefully these steps in this video give you the motivation and confidence. Do us a favor, below the video you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely go to your settings, turn on your YouTube notification bell. Once you do that, every video that we upload, you will be notified. You will be able to stay up to date with us. That will be awesome. Thanks again for watching.